guys, welcome to Anna's Anatomy. Today we are going to be discussing and learning histology. So what is histology? Histology is the study of tissues. Tissues are what makes our organs, and then organs is what makes up our organ systems, and so on. Organ system is what creates our organism. So there's four main types of tissues. We have connective tissues, which are the most abundant in the body, and you'll find these inside organs. We have epithelial tissues, which makes the border of organs as well as our skin. We have muscle tissue, which is important for movement, like for example the churning of your stomach. And we also have nervous tissue, which is very important for sensation, feeling, things like that. So we're going to mainly focus on connective and epithelial tissue. Once we get into the nervous system and muscle system, I'm really going to focus on muscle tissue and nervous tissue. And we have simple and stratified. Simple epithelial tissue means it has one single layer, so only one layer is connected to the basement membrane. Right here, down here is the basement membrane, and the top layer is called the apical membrane. The apical surface. Then we have stratified, which means it has multiple layers. So you could see there's one layer attached to the basement membrane, but there's other layers that are not attached to it. So that shows that this is a stratified cell, or this is a stratified epithelial tissue. And for the example, I drew squamous. So we have simple squamous, simple cuboidal, and simple columnar. Simple squamous means it is one single layer of flat-like cells. Okay, these cells are very flat. They look like kind of egg-like. Then we have cuboidal. This is simple cuboidal. Simple cuboidal means it is one single layer of cube-like cells. When you look at the actual cell on the microscope though, it kind of looks more round to me. So I like to draw them out round. Like, yes, they kind of resemble a cube, but they're very round. They're like chunky looking cells to me. Then we have simple columnar cells. These are one single layer of column-like cells. Now moving on, we would have stratified. I didn't draw them out, but stratified just means it has multiple layers. So we have stratified squamous, so that means there will be multiple cells there will be multiple flat-like cells stacked on top of each other. We have stratified cuboidal. This would be multiple cube-like cells stacked on top of each other. And then we have stratified columnar. This would be multiple column-like cells stacked on top of each other. Now we also have transitional epithelium and pseudostratified epithelium. Transitional epithelium, you'll usually find this in the urinary bladder, and this is what allows it to stretch. And this is just multiple layers of cells of different types of epithelial cells. So for example, we have multiple layers of squamous epithelial cells, stratified squamous epithelial cells stacked on multiple layers of stratified cuboidal epithelial cells. You could see cuboidal and columnar ones mixed together. You could see all three of them mixed together, but this is how they look. This is transitional. They're transitioning into different shapes. Now we have pseudostratified cells. So we know what the word pseudo means. It means fake, it means false, and stratified means multiple layers. So this basically means fake layers. This means this cell is appearing as though it has multiple layers, but it only has one layer. And we know it only has one layer because all of these cells are equally attached to the basement membrane down. Every single cell is attached to the basement membrane. Okay, this is the basement membrane. Every cell is attached to it. Now over here, this is the basement membrane. Only one layer is attached to the basement membrane. This layer is attached to the other cells. This is a stratified columnar, regular stratified columnar one. We also have some columnar cells that have these little hair-like structures called cilia. So you'll see those on them. Cilia is hair-like structures. And we also have something within columnar cells that you'll find that are called goblet. They're goblet cells. And these are mucus secreting cells. Okay? Now we're going to move on to where you're going to actually find these different types of epithelial tissues within the body. Squamous, we're starting off with squamous. You know, these are the flat-like, egg-like flat cells. So the function is that it allows passage of material via diffusion and filtration, and this happens in sites where protection is not as important. You know, it's one single layer. Things can easily move in and out of this layer. The location would be kidney, glomeruli, air sacs of the lungs, lining of heart, blood vessels, and lymphatic vessels. Now we have stratified squamous, and the function of this is to protect underlying tissues in areas subject to abrasion. And then we have keratinized versus non-keratinized stratified squamous cells. Keratinized cells are basically like keratinized means that these cells are dead. So within our epidermis, which is this layer, the top above layer of the skin, this layer that you can see with your eyes, all of the cells that you see on your skin, all of the cells that you see on your skin are dead. So these are all keratinized cells. So you would find this in the epidermis. In the non-keratinized cells, you would find these in the lining of mouth, esophagus, and vagina. Okay, and this is what they look like. It's literally stacked layers on top of each other, and they would all be connected to the basement membrane. The bottom layer is connected to the basement membrane. Okay, so this is what they look like, and this is where they are. Next, we'll move on to cuboidal. Simple cuboidal versus stratified cuboidal. So simple cuboidal's functions are secretion and absorption. The location is in kidney tubules, ducts, secretory portions of small glands, and ovary surface. You can see this is one single layer of cube-like cells. And we have stratified cuboidal. The function is protection, secretion, and absorption. The location is mammary glands, ducts, mammary gland ducts, salivary gland ducts, sweat gland ducts, and ovarian follicles. These ones are the rarest, more rare in the body, and as you can see, it is multiple layers of cube-like cells. Now we'll move on to columnar. Okay, so now we have simple columnar versus stratified columnar. So the function of simple columnar is absorption, mucus secretion, and the ciliated type propels mucus. So location, we have ciliated versus non-ciliated. You'll find the ciliated in the small bronchi of the lungs. Remember, cilia is like the little hair-like structures, and these hair-like structures are what propels mucus. So that's what cilia looks like. They're just these little tiny hair-like structures, and you'll also find it in the uterine tubes. And in the non-ciliated types, you'll find it in the digestive tract, gallbladder, and excretory ducts of glands. Now we have stratified columnar. This one's function is to shield underlying tissues from damage and secretion. The location would be in the male urethra, large ducts of some glands, and small parts of the pharynx. This one, the body has a limited amount of them, but as you can see, they're supposed to be looking more column-like, but they're multiple layers of column-like cells. Okay, and now finally we have pseudostratified versus transitional epithelium. So the function of pseudostratified is the secretion of mucus, population of mucus by ciliary actions. Remember, cilia is the hair-like structures on the cells. You'll find the non-ciliated types on sperm-carrying ducts, and then the cilia types line the trachea. The trachea is your windpipe, and also you'll find these in the upper part of the digestive tract. As you can see, this cell appears as though it has multiple layers, but it's only one layer because that single layer is attached to the basement membrane. Now we have transitional. The function of transitional epithelium is it stretches readily. You'll find this in the lines of the ureters, urinary bladder, which is mainly like the biggest thing, urinary bladder, and parts of the urethra. And as you can see, this is squamous and cuboidal. It literally is transitioning into a different cell shape. Okay, that concludes our lecture. In the next lecture, I'll be talking about connective tissues, which will most likely be posted today as well. If you need any help with like one-on-one tutoring, you need study guides, you need structured help throughout your anatomy journey or biology journey, you can subscribe to my Patreon. It's only $7 a month. And if you want a more intense one where I'm like helping you, we're scheduling Zoom calls, very intense tutoring, that one is $15 a month. Link will be in my description. It's also on my page. Make sure you follow all of my pages. I post a lot of short clips on TikTok of studying habits, studying tips, studying videos, mini lectures, smaller than these, quick things. I go live most nights on TikTok as well if you need extra assistance and extra help, because I know this class can be challenging for a lot of people. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Peace.